about the science of empty space, aka 9 ether. Now we're gonna jump right in. Now, first of all, we need to understand how space or how empty space is technically not empty, and how it has this etheric energy or this ethereal realm that people love to speak on all the time, which exists. All right, and we also want to go into the understanding of why they call it 9 ether. 9 is just spiraling up, 6 is just spiraling down. And so we understand that everything in the universe is comprised of a mathematical sequence of 1.618, the Fibonacci sequence golden ratio, which creates everything according to a right angle, which causes it to spiral up. So we call it 9 ether, aka ascension from this anatomical subparticle or metaphysical plane of existence. Everything extends and expands out of that. That's why they call it 9 ether. And so that being said, let's jump into it. Empty space. Space is made up of what? Atoms, okay? Now, that most people know what's called the fundamental template of an atom, okay? Which is protons, neutrons, electrons. And the protons and neutrons are in the nucleus, aka the middle of an atom. Then you have the electrons that are on the outside. Now, all of these fundamental properties of an atom have more subcategories. So electrons, for example, belong to a group of particles called leptons, okay? And leptons are made up of electrons, okay, muons, and taus, taus. And so all of these particles have a -1 electrical charge, and they're considered neutrinos, okay? A neutrino is a particle of anatomical structure which has a nearly 0% mass. And so they will be categorized as electron neutrinos, muon neutrinos, and tauon neutrinos. Then protons and neutrons are made up are made up of quarks. But we have to understand how we get to quarks. Protons and neutrons belong to a category of particles known as baryons. Baryons are comprised of a category of particles categorized as mesons, and mesons make up a category of particles known as hadrons, and then hadrons are made up of particles that we know as quarks. And so when you people talking about quarks and things like that, just know they skipped about 2-3 other subatomic particle categories, which even leads to quarks. Now, I'm not going to go fully into the detailed categories of baryons, mesons, and hadrons, because this will be a whole nother video. But I'll come back to that in a later video where I go into detail. I might even do a PAU on it, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm just giving y'all the branches. And so all of these different compartments of particles make up different aspects of an atom. Now, why is this important? We're going to talk about empty space, okay? Energy exists in space. You hear about 0-point energy and all of this energy being created in the center of an atom. This is how. In the compartment of an atom known as hadron, in the hadron particle compartment of an atom, where the protons and neutrons exist, aka the quarks, okay? Quarks and gluons are what you consider shortly lived particles, okay? They're constantly reacting to each other and discharging each other and creating fluctuations of energy. Now, on top of that, quarks are moving at, if not almost close to the speed of light. Now, this is important when you mathematically take into consideration the size of the volume in which so much force is being generated. For example, if I was to run 100 miles per hour on a football field, it's not equivalent to if I was to run 100 miles per hour from this side of this banner to that side of this banner. And so that being said, we have to understand the amount of force that's being generated in such a small space, okay? And so all of this frequency is being generated in such a small space, which is an atom, okay? By the interaction of gluons and quarks, as well as the movement of gluons. Here we have all of this energy being emitted, which is being caused by these fluctuations, okay? As well as the frequency and energy is being emitted by the electrons. And so this is what we call the etheric realm, or the 9 ether realm, because from this energetic blueprint, okay, from this flower of life template, is where all physical reality is being ascended into existence. So once again, 9 ether, spiral up, 1.618. And so with that being said, Boom. Now we got all of this energy being fluctuated across the universe, okay? And you have the ability to electromagnetically attract this energy. So all of this energy that's coming from this metaphysical or subatomically physical template, okay, is being manifested into physical reality through what you call and is creating what you call the four fundamental forces of nature, which is electromagnetism, gravity or gravitational force, and then strong and weak forces or pulls. And so from these four fundamental forces of nature, we get physical reality. And so this is how things are spiraling into existence just off the movement of one atom. Okay, just off the existence of one atom. And then you take this atom and you duplicate it by the infinite amount of atoms that make up the infinite amount of everything that we see. And now you see the abundance of energy, even just in the atmosphere, oxygen atoms, as I'm just waving my arms around and I can feel the wind and the breeze. All of this energy is available to me. And so what you have the ability to do is harness this energy, draw this energy to you. This is why they call oxygen the life force, because through oxygen and through your breath, you are able to breathe in atoms, okay, through the oxygen molecule and harness this electromagnetic energy, okay, directly from inside your vessel. And through your respiratory system, distribute these electromagnetic forces throughout your body. And so this is why it's important to keep your air purified, okay, and non-toxic, as well as water as well. So anything that you digest, okay, whether it be food or whatever, but specifically I'm talking about oxygen, okay, because we breathe 100% of our life until we die. And so with that being said, when we're talking about manifesting things or pulling things out of the ether, okay, atoms are computed by consciousness. I've done plenty of videos where I broke down how biophotons and other subatomic particles recompute reality to the internal frequency of the observer, okay? And so what's happening is you are pulling out of the universe or creating within the universe somewhere you may not even be conscious of the construct of the energy that you wish to harness, okay? And so there's not anything on the planet Earth that you can't manifest, whether it be angelic or demonic. And the construct of the energy and the construct of how the energy is being manipulated or guided by the entity all depends on the intent of the entity. So when we're talking about, once again, the science of empty space and nine ether, okay, and pulling things out of this etheric realm, understand that we are physically here within this vessel from the same forces that I just broke down. And so you have what you call spiritual beings, deities, interdimensional deities, extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them. You have entities who specifically exist on this plane of consciousness, meaning they have not computed and created a physical vessel. So they still exist as an electromagnetic frequency of consciousness, which you can channel, just like a radio wave, okay? I don't got to see you to call you on my phone. So your body is able to channel radio waves, okay, and download radio waves. They did brain scales with people who do channeling. You get your brain to the delta state, you can channel electromagnetic frequencies, and your brain can compute the message from the sender. And so that being said, there's an entire realm of space which you can compute, channel, receive information from, send information out, okay? And so even praying, even though we know there's no God, when you meditate, okay, because praying is when you ask a non-existent energy to do something for you. Meditation is when you say, I'm going to channel the energy from this realm, okay, into my mind and gather up the measurement of strength that I need to do what it is I need to do for myself. So even when you meditate, okay, or you doing whatever you do with your spiritual deities or your ancestors or whoever you talk to, okay, excuse me, you're talking to them on that plane, on the etheric plane, aka the empty space plane, aka in a scientific realm, the realm of quarks, hadrons, etc. Okay, leptons when it comes to electrons, and you're trying to get these energies to reconstruct themselves into the manner that you wish. And so that being said, understand that there is a science behind everything that our ancestors have done on this planet since they've been on this planet doing it. And so it's old information, but it's new to you because it's being reintroduced to you at a new aspect of your current incarnation. And so we have to understand that your reality in this current time, as far as your individual life goes, is your fault. It's your fault. And so you have the ability to pull into your life what it is you want. Just like you have the ability to get rid of out of your life what it is you want. What determines the way you use your free will to commit to any one of those potential actions that I just described is your ability to deal with your own intelligence and your own emotions in a mature and healthy manner, as well as what is best for not only you, but all other organisms and realities that surround you. And so with that being said, family, I hope this video was extremely helpful